Hey guys, it's me Astrid, and today I wanted to tell you about why I joined the AOS, the American Orchid Society, and why I freaking love it already, and why you should too if you've been considering it. Now first off, in my last video about Moat's orchids, I got a comment that said I came off too salesy, and I would clarify, like, no one's paying me or giving me stuff to give my opinions at all. If I'm telling you that I love something, it's because I love something, and the only reason I'm doing it is because I want to share awesome stuff I find with other people so they can also get awesome stuff and also be really happy. So that's my only intent making videos like this, and if I come off sounding like, you know, the resurrected spirit of Billy Mays, God rest his soul, I'm sorry. I hope you still enjoy my videos, and if you don't like this kind of video, well, go watch one of my videos about flowers, because everyone likes those. Alright, so let me start telling you about the benefits you get from joining the American Orchid Society, and then tell you stuff that I've had that I have already experienced that I think is great, and then talk about like prices and stuff. Now first off, I have to thank Anna from Crooked Orchids for pushing me to do this, because she showed off her little Orchids magazine and I was just so jelly that I had to sign up and finally get my AOS membership. And I have to give a shout out to Brittany of City Orchids, and they'll both be linked below, because she made a really great video about like the benefits she experienced from getting the AOS student membership, and like between the two of them I was just like basically just yanked in, like, do it. So I'm trying to yank you in too. But yeah, I have to thank and or blame those two for really getting me to do this. But let's talk about what you get when you join the AOS. So I think for a year you get 12 issues of the Orchids Magazine, which is this. You get electronic edition of that online. You get reliable online information on aos.org. You get an annual orchid source directory which details orchid suppliers worldwide. I'm reading this off my iPad. You get free and discounted admission to more than 200 botanical gardens and arboreta. You get a 10% discount on purchases made at aos.org. You also get a 5% discount on like these vendors in this paragraph. And if you get a 2-year membership, you get a $30 coupon on a purchase of $100 or more from one of these in the bottom paragraph, orchid growers. And that, like, I'm seeing Gold Country Orchids, Carmela Orchids, Hillsview Gardens. I know the owners of that, and they're really nice. They live around here. Piping Rock Orchids, which I think is Canadian. Sunset Valley Orchids. Hey, catasetums. Hey, Brittany. Yeah, just like a number of like really good vendors and orchid supply vendors. So in signing up for this, it almost pays for itself, because you get the magazine, which you're like basically paying for a magazine subscription. And you get access to online seminars, or webinars as the folks at AOS like to call it, which is really cutesy, I think. And then you get the $30 coupon. In between all those things, it pays for itself, especially if you're a student. Student pricing is $75 for a 2-year membership and $45 for a 2-year membership if you get the Orchids Magazine online only. So adding all that up and doing some little math, flipping around, that comes to like being way less per month than, let's say, Netflix. So if you really care about orchids and you really want to get like more invested in knowing more about them, this is a really, really fantastic deal, I have to say. I think it's wonderful. Now let me tell you about the webinars, because I love the webinars. Like, I've watched a few of them already and they're super great. Some of them are kind of buggy and I can't watch all of them. I'm gonna have to contact someone and figure that out. But other ones that I've watched have been great. I watched a seminar on semi-hydroponic orchid growing given by Ray Barcalau, which was like clarified so much about this growing method for me, and I'm trying to convert basically all my orchids to it by next year, I think. And it was super enlightening, it's super helpful, and you know, you can't just get that information anywhere. Like, it has to be presented in an orderly fashion, and Ray did a great job. I watched a video with Peter Lynn of Big Leaf Orchids talking about Phalaenopsis hybridization in novelty phals, and it was awesome. There's such good seminars you can get, and if you don't have like a local orchid society, you're missing out on getting these like monthly talks from speakers, because usually orchid societies have speakers come and tell you something interesting about, you know, your orchids and some aspect that they do in orchid growing. And if you can't get that, you can get that when you join the AOS, and I think that's worldwide. You can watch these seminars. And if you watch them live, you have the opportunity to ask questions sometimes. There's only a few that usually get asked as far as I've seen, but you have that opportunity, which is great. And the other thing, like, is Orchids Magazine. Like, this magazine is super awesome. I love it. And this is one from 2007. I bought a bunch of them from an orchid show, because some Orchid Society members were selling off the ones that they had and didn't want anymore, and I got a bunch of them for like $1 a piece. But this one, like, it has a list of all the first class certificate winning orchids from 2007, which is when this is from. It was current information then. It has like nomenclature notes, so I think it tells you about like pronouncing words. It has like orchids native to Turkey and like a traveling guide in Turkey if you want to see orchids. Like, it's awesome, and you can get your mind opened to like a whole bunch of orchids that you've never even seen before if you read this magazine, because there's just great articles and shit written in it. My favorite one that I have is the one on catasetums, and Fred Clark wrote an article in it. Like, lots of really knowledgeable people write articles for this magazine and give you that information. And additionally, when you watch webinars and when you read stuff on the AOS website and when you read the Orchids magazine, you're getting essentially all accurate information, or accurate to the best of this orchid grower's knowledge. Whereas online, you get a bunch of people and you don't know if this person is totally an idiot or totally smart telling you anything about orchids, and I find it really helpful to have access to these kind of resources about orchids, so I can learn things the correct way. Like semi-hydroponic from Ray Barkalow, he developed the technique of growing semi-hydroponically and has been doing it 20 years. So if I ask anyone around the net, they're not going to have as good of information as Ray has. And thanks, Ray, for that. It was a great webinar if you ever watched this. But yeah, like, I can't stop saying good stuff about this. And finally, like, I just put in an order with Sunset Valley Orchids to buy like 4 catasetums and a sarcophagus, which are hard to find anywhere else. So I got 4 catasetums and a sarcophagus, and then I joined the AOS, and due to the 5% discount and the $30 coupon, I was able to add 2 more catasetinae type orchids to my order and keep it the same price. Like, and it's a pre-order, so I don't have to freaking pay shipping. Yes. It's like, I can't say enough good stuff. But yeah, if you have ever been considering joining the AOS and the only thing that you were hesitant about was your lack of information, or you think it's too expensive or whatever, just know, like, if you just take a picture of your student ID and send it to them, that's adequate. You get the student discount. It's great. I have probably blabbed enough about this. If you're not sold on this by now, you're probably never gonna be, so okay. Well, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Thank you for listening to me be Astrid the saleswoman again, even though I'm not trying to sell you anything. I just want you to have good orchid information. Can you tell I've been watching Jenna Marbles all the time lately? Because I can. Anyway, I want to wish you a happy day, Happy growing, and thanks so much for watching. Bye, guys.